Welcome, Hellions and Helliots, to another grandiose episode of the Hellion Rebellion Rock and Roll Association, brought to you by Holly Geist. We have a couple of moments of silence to recognize. The first one is very, very controversial. Chris Cart from the band Toxin 3 passed away this week. Toxin 3 was an underground punk rock band from Louisiana, and from the late 70s to the early 80s, and they had really great songs, but their very first record had a rebel flag that looked like a swastika on it. I get the fact that nihilism was running rampant in the punk rock community, and images like this were adopted to really piss off the mainstream. Their big song was Sig Heil Rock and Roll. Sig Heil Rock and Roll. I thought they were a pretty racist band just from that image alone when I first started getting into this kind of music. But when I finally let myself listen to it, I'm like, yeah, these guys were just playing the nihilistic card and using these images. I don't. I'm sure they got blindsided by all the screwdriver bands and the skinhead bands of the time. They could have gone a lot further in their careers had they stayed away from some of that. Because honestly, I'm one of those people. If you speak it, if you draw it, it's real. I don't know. But Toxin 3, they were a great band, and they weren't the way they represented themselves. I think it's honestly, I think that imagery is horrible. Speaking of nihilistic punk rockers who used hate imagery to represent themselves, let's talk about the Sex Pistols. And no, nobody from the Sex Pistols died, but a woman by the name of Pamela Rook just passed away. And this has nothing to do with music so much. She was a fashion model. She was a retailer of sex toys, bondage equipment in England during the days of the Sex Pistols in the late 70s. She's kind of known for being one of the people who started putting all the geometric shapes all over their faces. I don't know if she was the first one who did that, but she was definitely known for that. She was part of the Sex Pistols entourage. And when I saw her picture up on the socials this last week, I knew immediately who it was. I was like, oh, that's that girl that used to hang out with the Sex Pistols and always wore the bondage uniforms. So yeah, her name was Pamela Rook. Some people knew her as Jordan Mooney, and everybody knew her as Jordan. So let's go ahead and give Chris Cart and Jordan a moment of our silence before we get on with our show. Okay. May Chris Cart and Jordan Mooney, or Jordan, find peace and understanding within the walls of heavenly grace. So today we are going all the way to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania is the state capital of Pennsylvania, and it is also known for being the National Civil War, or having the museum, the National Civil War Museum in the United States. And they're also known for one of the greatest punk bands since the late '90s, a band known as the Prostitutes. The Prostitutes have been around since 1997, and they are still around today. Rocking and rolling, rocking and reeling, making you feel all good inside with their exquisite jams and their rowdy riffs. I showed up late to this game. I've only known about the Prostitutes for about probably roughly 6 years, maybe 7 years. This is their first record. Can't teach the kids responsibility. And yeah, they're still around. I don't know much else about them. So let's let you talk about them. Let's let you listen to them. You tell me what you think about Harrisburg, Pennsylvania's The Prostitutes. Oh, wow. I nailed that one. So there you go. The Prostitutes. God is cool. Drugs are fun. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. As Pelado or Pelado record says, this is punk rock the way it's meant to be heard. When it comes to this band, I totally agree. Yeah, get your weekend started. Get juiced. And don't do anything I would do. You'll end up in jail. See you later.